Is Robert Downey Jr. before he was Robert Downey Jr. or maybe just after? And number 61, it's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Welcome to Long Play Video. Yeah, here we are back in Long Play Video. Thanks for joining us again as we run down.
Forgot where you were for a minute there. Have you got have you got a sideline job that we should be worried about? Have we
my
not got
my
enough money coming to the shop?
my three other jobs.
Yeah.
I'm working delivering pizza on the side. Yeah, where we're running down my 100 favorite films of all time. And
Mm,
actually, yeah, we're down to number 61 this week.
amazing.
A classic video shop film, I think,
Yeah.
although
Yeah.
yeah, came out in 2005, so it definitely wasn't a video shop film. But let me just slide the video over to you,
Yeah,
and you
okay.
can tell us what this week's is.
All right, here we go. So this is exactly more like the kind of video cover you expect to see. So it's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Um it's so much more understated, isn't it, than like because what did you say? Was it 2005, right? Yeah.
2005, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like so much more 2005 versus some of the old ones we've seen where it's just like just someone's face and you're like, well, I'm not sure we know what this film's about. But I like this. So it
There's no
says
quotes. No one had watched this who wrote in a
yeah.
magazine.
Yeah. No, exactly. Or they didn't want to put their signature to this. But
Yeah.
yeah, sex, murder, mystery. Welcome to the party. Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. So two big heavy hitters in 2005. I'm trying to think, was this after Iron Man 1? Was this before Iron Man 1?
No,
I can't remember.
this is way before.
Yeah, okay. So this is when he's starting to get his resurgence. So this could be the part that he played that got him Iron Man. Who knows? We'll check out for superhero landings and
Yeah, yeah, no, I
yeah,
think so. Yeah, I think so because yeah, obviously yeah, so RDJ he'd sort of gone off the rails a bit. I think had sort of yeah been the party guy. I think as we
yeah,
talked a little bit about in Iron Man, and I
yeah,
think
yeah,
this was almost sort of him to a certain extent playing like a role that had at least a sort of a wink at the fact that that was what
yeah,
he was supposed to be like.
yeah.
But also I think yeah was definitely sort of yeah because it's such a good script. It's another Shane Black movie who obviously
Oh,
directed
nice.
him in Iron Man 3 as we talked about.
Mm,
So yeah, this for him was really I think the first slightly more mainstream, although yeah it didn't make a lot of money. I think this is probably almost the film where he wasn't a nightmare on set, and because of that,
oh, yeah,
he could get the
yeah,
next film and the next film and the next
yeah.
film.
All of a sudden,
Because
yeah, he's
yeah,
bankable
exactly, yeah,
again. Yeah, like yeah,
yeah.
he's
He'll actually
back.
he'll turn up and he'll work,
Yeah.
which yeah, I think is yeah, sort of
Mm,
big as a main character, and I think that's the thing. Like he's in a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
kind of in between Chaplin when obviously he was nominated for the Oscar,
yeah,
and you know was the kind of yeah the young darling of Hollywood to a certain extent.
yeah.
Then after that, like yeah, because everything kind of yeah does go a bit haywire. Then he's definitely not a
Yeah.
leading person. Obviously features in Ally
No.
McBeal, which is just a bit
Yeah.
bizarre.
So
Um,
is that the peak or the trough of your career? What is it's like,
I
I mean,
d-
it was pretty big. I do remember it being pretty big. So I don't
yeah,
know.
well, I mean, we'd have to explain to everyone, to most of the listeners what Ally McBeal is now. But yeah,
Well,
no,
they
it's
should just
pretty
go
big.
watch it.
It was a pretty big it's a pretty big TV show.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think yeah,
I could watch
so
it.
that kind of helps. And then yeah, he's in this, and then still sort of bit parts in Good Night and Good Luck,
Yeah.
Scanner Darkly and stuff. Right into kind of Iron Man. Well, obviously, yeah, it completely picks up
Yeah.
again for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So I wonder if this is a good lead up. Like you said, that this is where everyone realized, okay, he can be the normal person on set. This is okay. We can accept him back in. But
Yeah.
and then
Well,
Val
especially
Kilmer,
in comparison to Val Kilmer, because obviously,
yeah,
like, yeah, he also had like the massive biopic, kind of around the same time,
yeah,
as
okay,
Chaplin when he did The Doors. But obviously, then he
yeah,
went on to do Batman, which I think yeah, kind
yeah.
of, he sort of says,
Don't
yeah,
talk about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of killed his career a little bit.
yeah,
So it's sort of, yeah, it's an interesting one, sort of, yeah, going through it. Yeah, he'd already done the sort of the superhero route, and
yeah,
obviously, like, yeah, it had kind of gone wrong for him. Although,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, he sort of, yeah, made some other questionable choices as well. I don't think it was just that, but yeah, that I
yeah,
think took away his ability to be again like the main star. So yeah, it's sort of funny how they then meet on this movie, and yeah, sort of
yeah.
the stories out of it are very much like Val Kilmer sort of, yeah, looked after him, and
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't drink the entire time that he was on set to help Robert Downey
Oh,
Jr. Sort of,
nice.
not
Yeah,
drink and stuff like that, and sort of, yeah, to have a good performance. And
yeah.
they are great as a, yeah, as a pair. So
Yeah, yeah, they work well together, don't they? Like, it's a shame because yeah, you're all it's almost like crossroads. Like Val Kilmer's maybe more at the top and coming down, and then Robert Downey Jr. is now just coming back up, and they just obviously then sort of just cross, and Kilmer's career sort of dies down a bit more, and obviously with Iron Man, and Sherlock as well, Robert Downey Jr. just goes from strength to strength after that, doesn't he? So
yeah.
I was just looking at Kiss Kiss Bang Bang 2005. So Val Kilmer. So he did lots of other little bit parts that came out in between then, and then he's got Deja Vu with Denzel, which is obviously good film. Then there's The Ten Commandments, the musical. Now, and he plays Moses. I think I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm intrigued to see what I mean. I've seen the original Ten Commandments, which is an epically long film. I mean, as a musical, this sounds like this is something out of South Park. I don't really know. So yeah, maybe things really were down and out at this point. That's when you've really started to hit rock bottom at that point.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, yeah, I watched. So he did a sort of like an autobiographical film fairly recently, actually. So he has
Yeah,
like
have you seen it?
a lot of footage because he was a real, like, he was always
Mm,
like a movie kid.
yeah,
So yeah, so he has a lot of footage from when he was, yeah, younger, and yeah, he put it kind of all together into, yeah,
yeah,
into like an autobiographical film, and yeah, it's really interesting actually. He sort of,
yeah,
yeah, talks about, like, obviously it's very biased and it's from his point of view.
yeah,
But yeah, no, it is really interesting. It's sort of going through those 80s icons. He talks actually
yeah.
sort of, yeah, about I think one of the films that, yeah, he sort of, yeah, says, "Oh, okay, well, that was a bad decision," was the old
Ah,
island of
okay.
Dr. Moreau, which he kind of went on, yeah,
Yeah.
specifically to sort of, yeah, to meet Marlon Brando, and yeah,
Oh,
he wasn't in a good way at the time. So
oh no.
um, yeah, but also,
Oh
like, yeah,
wow.
it's really good because, yeah, he doesn't seem to have any regrets, and he's sort of, yeah, is
Yeah,
quite inspirational in a lot of ways. Obviously, we
yeah,
talked about
yeah,
Michael J. Fox as well, kind of, yeah, when he sort of had an affliction and stuff, and then, yeah, with the throat
yeah,
cancer, he's still, yeah, was
yeah,
talking about his life, and sort of was saying, like, I'm really lucky to have had the life that I've had because I've
yeah,
always done what I love, and
yeah,
stuff, and then obviously, yeah, kind of made it into Maverick as well. So
yeah,
um,
which was nice.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
you're right. I
So
mean,
yeah, that's an interesting one.
it's a credit to his character, isn't it? That you can see it that way, and I mean, yeah, as you said, it's unfortunate that yeah, he got throat cancer, but yeah, he still looked at it as he's had a good, enjoyed his career, so that's nice, and yeah, I think so. Shall I? I feel like I should describe this film then to everyone. We'll use the back of the DVD, and then I want to know why it's on your list. So. I have seen this, but I'm trying to remember if I feel like I just remember interplay between the two of them. I don't really
Yeah.
remember the story. So
I mean, that may well be the story, to be fair.
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I was like, have I got the right bit, or is that just that my memory is only allowed to remember one thing per film, and that was it? But an action turned crook gets a second chance at his career in movies, as well as fighting crime in this offbeat action comedy. Harry Lockhart, Robert Downey Jr., is a down on his luck actor turned small time crook who, while on the run from the police, literally stumbles his way into an audition for a role in a film. Not wanting anyone to know what he's been up to, Harry reads for the part and gets it, landing a sizable role as a private detective. In order to prepare for the part, Harry is teamed up with Gay Perry, Val Kilmer, tough as nails private eye. And when the film project unexpectedly goes into turnaround, Harry signs on as Gay's new partner. As Harry tries to pick up the sleuthing trade while staying out of the way of former cohorts and victims, he becomes reacquainted with Harmony, Michelle Monaghan, a girl he has a major crush on in high school, who may be a bit more interested in him now than when she was years ago. Uh, well,
Is
that is an in-depth like description. I feel like that's told me a lot about the film and also not a lot about the film. Yeah,
it's not
that
just
felt
your struggles to read as well. The font is just awful.
yeah,
It's a like
yeah.
red on white font.
Mm,
And what is it with
yeah,
all of the with all of the dashes? Actor turned crook, down on his
yeah,
luck. Actor
yeah,
turned small
yeah,
time crook.
yeah,
Like no,
yeah.
those are all
Hyphen,
separate
hyphen,
words.
hyphen, hyphen.
They
Yeah.
don't need to be
Mm.
hyphenated. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, random. So yeah, okay. So it sounds like this is going to be good interplay between these two, which I think would probably be one of the things that's going to be good with the film. But yeah, why is it then? Why is it on your list?
Yeah, so I think this is one of those films that almost I looked at because of the actors on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly
Mm.
popular at the time. It kind of just about made back its money at
Mm.
the box office. But it's also this is like for me, as I say, like a real video shop find. This is the type of
Yeah.
film that you pick
I know what
up
you
off the
mean.
shelf and you're like, oh look, yeah, I like
Yeah.
these two people.
Yeah.
And then you watch it, and
Yeah.
yeah, I have a fondness for like noir detectives. I think it's
Yeah.
yeah, again, sort of yeah, speaks to films that used to be on,
Yeah.
yeah, sort of at the yeah during the day back in the day when I was
Yeah.
growing up and stuff. Things like all of the Bogart movies like Maltese Falcon and Chinatown
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very noir. Yeah, I really like that and sort of a smart script with yeah, sort of really good
Yeah.
speeches by everyone, and yeah, everyone kind of yeah has a snappy one-liner and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think those are really fun, and yeah, really
Yeah.
like them. So
It
I
sounded
think
like almost a cross between James Bond and The Princess Bride. It's like or
there's
Columbo,
the new
you
quote
know.
for the cover.
Yeah. So yeah, it's got like great actors here with one-liners, James Bond, and then a bit of the detective bit, which is yeah, a bit more like Columbo, I guess, rather than The Princess Bride. But
Yeah,
yeah, which
the
I'm
grandfather,
now
from
I'm
put it this way.
yeah, I'm now seeing why you like this so much. That makes more sense.
Well, I think what is quite funny in this as well is that, like, and especially at the time, just everything goes wrong. Like
Yeah,
yeah, sort of mild spoilers for it, but yeah, it's
yeah,
just kind of funny that like it is almost quite Bond in the way from the books, where actually
yeah,
he's not perfect. He's not sort of some yeah like really graceful person. He
yeah,
just kind of lucks out. And I remember,
yeah,
and I've watched this. I think I've watched this in the last sort of 5 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. And I just
yeah,
remember like so many times, just they do something that's just completely wrong and like the wrong
yeah,
thing to do, and then they just like have to recover from it somehow, and kind of
yeah,
yeah find their way back. And that I think is where the comedy kind of comes into it. It's just like yeah, they're so far from perfect. And it kind of,
yeah,
yeah, almost like gritty realism and stuff, but it still obviously is, yeah, that in that noir way, it's a very simple kind
yeah,
of telling. I don't remember there being sort of much depth to it.
yeah,
But that's kind of why it's so funny. And
yeah,
when I was doing the list, it was kind of this or the other guys. Uh,
yeah,
no, not the other guys, the nice guys.
yeah. The nice
With
guys. I can see
yeah,
that
yeah.
being yeah very similar to this. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Russell Crowe
yeah,
and
and Ryan Gosling, yeah,
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, yeah,
after the
yeah,
lift. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
After the
think
host.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely like yeah between. between the two.
Mm.
I don't. Yeah, I think it would be overkill having them both in. And
Well,
this,
I
yeah, I
mean,
think
I don't know, Andy. Some of these films on this list, I think I'd happily take the overkill.
you've got to have a range of genres. You know, you've got to have.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate these ones more. It's a good point. Yeah, if once wasn't on this list, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed this.
What musical independent film would replace it? You got to go for every genre, right? But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I think and also obviously the other guys is almost a bit of a sort of a satire on this type of film. But like these
yeah,
films had also not, and I don't think it is a satire. It
no,
is just like it is kind of
yeah,
played as a noir.
yeah, and it's more
But
about those two just going off against each other and just
yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
yeah,
Because they
yeah,
were always, I mean, it's they go back to like 1930s books, and sort of
yeah,
sort of trashy detective books, and that's where like
yeah,
the noir sort of genre comes from, right?
yeah,
All mostly written by my namesake, obviously Raymond Chandler. No relation, no relation.
yeah. But you know of, I mean, we should research this. We never know. So it could be something big here.
Some
Uh,
some family over in the US maybe. But yeah, but like
uh,
yeah, and that's the thing, and there's a few more to come, and there's a few sort of quite high that yeah just are sort of that noir fiction because I
yeah,
do just like it, and I think I think it's good,
yeah,
it's entertaining,
yeah,
it's funny and stuff. I mean I think they're very
yeah,
much targeted at boys who are just wanting to be cool and
yeah.
be detectives. So
Yeah, and I think like you said as well, like with Shane Black as well, like we obviously just watched Iron Man 3, and yeah, that we both agreed that that's felt like a really well directed film, pulled like the right elements together. Obviously it's got a great script as well, but I think that's something I'm looking forward to remembering in this film is, how well it's actually pulled together. And that's almost the sign of such a great director, right? Especially something like this where it's not like a big epic of different worlds, something like, Lord of the Rings. This is more of this is just the characterization of, we're just getting the most out of the characters. How do I get the most out of Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr.? And I'm looking forward to seeing how he does that. I think he'll probably do a good job in that. And so it's probably going to seem seamless, like it's just like actually like a normal real life event that happened, as opposed to just a film that got acted. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm really looking
yeah.
forward to it. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we talked about Shane Black before, obviously, but like, yeah, all the Lethal Weapon
Mm,
films and Last Boy Scout and stuff like
yeah,
that. There's a genre there. We know
yeah.
what we're gonna get, but yeah,
Yeah,
I do like it, and kind of, I think that's because that's kind of what movies were, weren't they? It was like a bit of
yeah,
action and then like a smart
yeah.
one-liner, and that to a certain extent was what we grew up on. So
Very much
yeah, I
so.
think it's
That was the bread and butter, right, of every Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening.
Yeah, Tony Stark's autobiography, right? A cheap trick and a cheesy one-liner.
Yeah, and here we are.
So
Yeah,
I think it will be good. It's
yeah,
definitely something to put on in a video store. We'll find
yeah.
people coming out of the shelves to sit down, no doubt, and watch.
Yeah. Be like,
But
what's
yeah.
this film? I've not heard of this one before. Yeah, these two are in a film together. How do I not know about this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
they didn't. They had nobody left to market it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, trivia now.
yeah,
Well, I mean, obviously, like, yeah, sadly, like 19 years ago, which is,
yeah.
which is
Crazy.
also, a bit crazy. So, I
Yeah,
think it will stand up. Noir,
yeah.
doesn't tend to be very complicated. So I don't
Hmm.
think there'll be anything too bad in it. But I think, yeah,
No.
it's also the thing is with noir because it is based on those sort of 30s detective movies. There's
Yeah,
usually like a 1930s sort of
yeah,
aesthetic to it, if not like content. So,
yeah,
but we'll have to see if it stands up. Like I say, yeah, I think
yeah,
I've watched it recently, but yeah, not all
yeah.
that recently. So yeah,
And then, so this hasn't got many like one-liners that you and Tiff will then like use on a day-to-day basis. This isn't like hitting like the same as some of the other films.
no, I don't think that's. I think I'd get kicked out of most places using one-liners for this. I do remember there are a couple of
Uh,
really good one-liners in it. But yeah, not that have not that have entered just our family
Yeah,
vocabulary, because
yeah.
yeah, most of them, yeah, the language is isn't great as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, there's especially yeah, watch out for the looking up idiot in the dictionary line, because I think that sort of
Yeah,
epitomizes the entire film.
yeah. All right.
Um,
Keep
so
an eye out for
yeah,
that. Nice.
cool. Okay, well, yeah, let's yeah, we can yeah sit down. I feel like yeah, this is probably more of an alcoholic beverage, so maybe grab
Oh,
yourself a
nice.
beer and we can
Yeah.
sit down and watch it and see you after the jump. So yeah, as Kev settles in, I think you'll enjoy this one. I remember it being quite funny. I think with the snappy dialogue and stuff, it's good. It's a bit confusing. The plot is a bit all over the place, but I think it's just fun and funny. So. There's been plenty of movies with lots of plot that Kevin's not liked. So I think he'll enjoy this one. But yeah, let's see.
Confusing, I think is I've definitely seen
More
this
than
for
normal.
yeah, yeah, for me more than normal, yeah. So I should say what is a more extreme adjective to for normal people? Um and do you know what? Just to make sure that it wasn't just me thinking that the first I watched it twice to see
Wow.
am I
This is
yeah,
the first film that you've watched twice. Obviously, we were watching it in the shop. I must have dozed off when we
yeah,
got to the
yeah.
second watch.
Yeah, you were just sort of like, I was like, oh, he seems like he's just having a few winks. Well, I'll just rewind the VHS.
Well, I mean, I'm over
Yeah.
35 now, so it's over. It's over for me.
That is true. Yeah, you are past. There's not many years left for you. Um, yeah, so I've definitely seen this before. I know this, and so I did sort of remember bits and pieces of it. But yeah, for me, I watched it twice and I'm like, it's still confusing. Like the thread of the main story is
Yeah.
still too confusing for me. And I've watched it twice and I'm still like, I just think you overplayed this a bit. You tried to be too clever. You've got to think you're a big fan of Clumbo. You got to think you go back to the basics, right? He just knows what he's doing. Don't overcomplicate it. And so I don't know. I just found it a bit confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think maybe that's by design. Maybe it's not supposed to really make sense.
Okay.
Like the kind of novels that it's based on kind of don't make sense. The sort of
Okay.
the bad noir
Yeah.
detective
Yeah.
movies, yeah, books. There's always sort of a central plot device, and yeah, like there's sort of yeah different series that I've read over the years, and they are trash and they're great. As yeah, still read one every now and again, and they are
Yeah.
like just a bit of a holiday from hard reading
Yeah.
material. But yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, I don't know whether that's what they were going through, because then yeah, it's like weird, isn't it? Even at the end when she sort of calls him and it's like, "Come and rescue me," and but he's been shot
Yeah.
and then he's yeah, like yeah, it is just very
Yeah.
bizarre.
And then just like right at the very end, obviously, then the dad's like randomly there and Val Kilmer go to see him, and you're like, what? Like, what?
Yeah,
What's going on?
yeah,
Why is he now in it? And then you obviously there's no information of who he is. I mean, you can
yeah,
presume he is, but then you're
yeah,
thinking, oh well, surely he's going to kill him, and he just sort of backslaps him, and you're
yeah,
like, why did they include this in the
yeah.
film?
And why Val Kilmer? Why, like, it wasn't RDJ either. It
Yeah,
was it was
yeah,
just a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Just like
yeah,
obviously Robert didn't want to fly to that set.
yeah. Yeah, he's like, sorry, I'm busy today. And then obviously had the final scene where they're wrapping up and they're sort of, oh, and that's our movie. And that's like him talking to the screen. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why have they included this bit now as well? Like he just did
yeah,
narration over the top, and now we've included actual facing us talking to us about. I didn't like that at all.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought honestly, I can't remember the last time I've seen a proper Val Kilmer film. He was just next level. He was
yeah. He was
brilliant.
awesome. Yeah,
He was
yeah,
so good. His timing, his comedy was great. And I actually thought Robert Downey Jr. I didn't really like Robert Downey Jr. I thought he
yeah,
was a bit over the top in this. Um, like I feel like in Iron Man he does the same sort of character, but it's just a nice level. Like he
Yeah.
does like the sort of this one he felt a bit erratic still, like he was still on the come down, like he was still going cold turkey a little bit. So but yeah, Val Kilmer, I was like, whoa, it was so good. I did watch another recommendation of another Val Kilmer film then after that. Ghost in the Darkness. I think is that
No, I
do
don't
you know
know.
that one?
No.
Oh, wow. Am I actually gonna am I out Andy and Andy? Um it's got well, I mean, I say this, I've watched it, but there's every chance that Val Kilmer wasn't in it. So I should be careful. The Ghost in the Darkness, yeah, came out in 96, and it's got Michael Douglas in as well. And
Oh,
Michael
okay.
Douglas basically plays the same character as in Romancing the Stone. He looks exactly the same. So obviously I was on to Winner straight away. But yeah, I watched that afterwards and I was like, yeah, God, he's
That's a
really
what a tagline. A bridge engineer and an experienced old hunter begin to hunt for two lions after they start attacking local construction workers.
yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
just
you
like
can't ask for any more,
there's
can
two
you?
lions. There's two lions, not one. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
well, these lions are just. Why are you going hunting for them? Wow.
Well,
Do,
you'd
do
have to
they
watch it and
do they
find out.
do they find them? It's a bit
Yeah.
like the Monty Python, a tiger in India.
Yeah. But yeah, it just reminded me. I was like, God, he was actually really good. And
Yeah,
yeah, like I know we sort of discussed it a bit, but was it Batman that just basically ruined his career? Was that
yeah,
and then
yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
it's
he
such a
does.
shame.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean because even the same year as Batman, he was in Heat, which he's good in. But
Yeah.
then I think
Yeah.
it was the Island of Dr. Moreau,
Oh, that's right. You
which
said,
was
yeah.
a very a very ill-fated movie. And then
Um,
funnily enough, he popped up in The Saint afterwards, didn't he? Which obviously The Saint
yeah.
is very similar to this. Like I have
Yeah.
like 30 original paperback version like books of The Saint from my grandfather. He used to collect them, and yeah, I
Oh,
got
wow.
them when he
Nice.
passed away. And yeah,
Yeah.
they're like they're I mean they're exactly like this, just sort of again
Yeah.
like 200 pages. Yeah, sort of
Yeah.
something unbelievable happens. There's a plot thread that doesn't quite make sense. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, and he just never managed really to get that next sort of main
Yeah.
part. I think that would have sort of set him up to
Yeah.
to go over the top, which is a shame.
I wonder, yeah, do you think he just sort of like gave up? Because I guess George Clooney kind of also had the same scenario where he did Batman and everyone's like, oh, that's not good. And then I mean I'm just looking at his filmography. I mean he's still in a lot of
Yeah,
films,
yeah,
but they're all just he just didn't quite get the right I guess he didn't get the quite get the right break where he got onto a good film that actually was really that everyone actually was like, oh yeah, wow, he's like really good.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
don't
I think
know.
George Clooney is a good. I think it's a good comparison. I think I think
Mm,
George Clooney came along sort of later, right?
mm,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I think because like a sort of good looking guy is that sort of who can act,
yeah,
but is also sort of a bit of a sort of movie
yeah,
star.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right, actually. They are very similar. Like they've got that sort of yeah, you're right, good looking and just sort of that, I don't know, wink at the sort of audience type thing. Like
yeah,
yeah, I get this. I'm along for the ride with you guys. I know what's happening. Like sort
yeah,
of
yeah,
thing. Yeah, you're right, actually. Maybe as George Clooney, did he ruin Mel Kilmer's career? Is this a
he took
bombshell
all
that's
of his
coming
parts.
out? Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
heard
funny
it
enough,
here first. Yeah.
it was only 2 years after
Yeah.
Clooney as Batman was only 2 years after Batman Forever. So yeah,
Yeah. So
it's a
actually
strange one, but
very
yeah, no,
close.
he was great in this, and definitely
Yeah.
the best character,
Oh,
and yeah, he
by
gets all
far.
the good
He
lines.
he's got so many good lines and he delivers them all so well. And I
Yeah,
was started to writing some down. I was like, I don't want to say what my favorite lines were because I just loved all of them. So I'm just like, he's so good. And Michelle Monaghan as well. I thought she was really good
Yeah,
as
she was good in
well.
it. Yeah, yeah,
She delivers the, I mean, yeah, character's a bit sort of questionable, but I thought she was really good. But honestly, I must say, I wasn't really too sure about. I'm not sure I liked really was Robert Downey Jr. He just seemed
yeah,
a bit too over the top of his normal self. He just felt really exaggerated and
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think because in this he's supposed to be an idiot and then like have the manic stuff.
Mm,
Obviously, in Iron Man he's supposed to be a genius and have the manic stuff. So maybe, yeah, like
yeah,
you have to underlay some calm to the manic
yeah.
energy in order to in order to make it work.
Yeah, this was one of the things. I mean, we're skipping around a bit, but this was one of the questions about the film they asked. I was like, "Is Robert Downey Jr. actually a good actor, or is he just like a one-trick pony?" It's like you said, like, does he just do that manic? Because I recently just watched the Sherlock films, which I really like, but you
Yeah.
and then obviously we watched Iron Man 3, and then I watched this, and I was like, "Hold on a minute, is this just exactly the same character in just different eras of films?" So, I don't know. Is that controversial? I mean, I
I
do
mean,
like him, and I do think he's really good in Iron Man, and I do really like him in Sherlock. But I don't know. Watching this, maybe I've just watched. Maybe I've OD'd on RDJ. That's the problem.
I mean, as he's listening to this, polishing his Oscar, I'm not sure that
Yeah.
he cares that much. I mean, obviously, he was different in Oppenheimer. I didn't really get why
Oh,
we cared about him
I've not
at
seen
all.
that. Yeah.
And then obviously, like you're forgetting also, you know, him as Doctor Dolittle. So, you know,
Oh.
that was a very different energy and performance where
True.
he could really hear the animals talking to him. No, I mean, I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where you kind of you have a
Hmm.
trademark as an actor, and then you kind of get
Hmm.
typecast, and then people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but you
Yeah.
don't do other things." But you're kind of like, "But
Yeah.
if you're making a movie and you're like, right, we want
Yeah.
someone who's a bit manic and full of energy," then and you think, oh, "Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's get in RDJ because
Yeah.
like that's almost the point, isn't it? Is that to a certain extent
Yeah.
we as an audience don't then want
True.
to see people acting differently. We're like, no, why we want
Yeah.
to like we want your shtick because
Yeah.
that's why we've come to see you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a difficult one because yeah, he's
Yeah.
not given that many different roles. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. That's
he's
fair.
quite different in Tropic Thunder. He's not.
Yeah, that's true. It's
It's
yeah,
very
it's very,
different.
very, very unique. It's probably that. You're right. I think I'm just
What do you
trying to
mean, you
start
people?
Twitter spats now. That's the yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
we don't need to. Yeah. No. Yeah. He was
We're
just
not here
very
for
yeah.
the
Maybe
controversy.
yeah. Maybe I have just OD'd on him. That's the thing. Too much of him recently. But yeah, I really did think he was very good in this. What about you then? What did you like or dislike?
I didn't think it was that great, it has to be said. I was
Yeah.
I thought yeah,
Boom.
it kind of it had dated
I'm gonna put in
arguably
the Oppenhauer sound effect after this.
what like a 20-minute build up to the
Yeah.
explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's almost it's I don't know, has it aged the worst of any movie on the
Mm,
list? Maybe
mm,
Four Lions actually
yeah.
just sort of pips it to the post. But I mean, you know,
Oh,
Airplane's one of those movies, and I don't think
yeah.
that's aged as
Yeah.
badly. So, and I think it's really
Yeah.
funny because like obviously it's got that noir like 30s feel
Mm,
and look and the dialogue and everything. And so yeah, it
yeah.
kind of made me like yeah, sort of think about noir just as a genre and like how does that survive now? Because obviously it is based on
Mm,
you know, yeah, a lot of misogyny and like, yeah,
yeah.
just sort of different things. And you're like, well, how do you kind of bring that into the 21st century? Or is it just a genre that sort of, yeah, is defined as old fashioned?
Mm,
Um, and then like I
mm,
remember very vividly at the time because it plays with so many of the conventions of like buddy cop and stuff like that.
yeah.
At the time it was modern and it was like it was breaking the mold and wasn't just a stupid another stupid sort of buddy movie.
Yeah.
and yet it's still aged so badly, really, where you're just
Yeah.
kind of like, wow, this was actually like this wasn't the stereotypical thing, and yet this
Yeah.
hasn't aged well at all. Like
No.
the things that were the stereotypical thing. I've not watched Lethal Weapon recently,
Oh.
but if this has aged this
Yeah.
badly, I hate to think how what's happened with
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon. So
Do you know what? I think I watched it fairly recently, and I would still say that it's not aged as bad as this. I think you're
yeah,
right. I think
see,
I had to look back and go, when was this? Was this in the 90s? And then when it said
yeah,
2005, I was like,
2005, yeah,
what? And for me, there were two like points that yeah, I'm keen to get your thoughts on. I thought even though it was weird, they've got obviously one of the main characters is a gay character, but they just say he's gay. There's no like real like they just go, oh, this is gay. It's almost like they're like, yeah, we need to have a gay character, and yet
yeah,
there's no real thought on actually how is this character gay, or it's just like, yeah, I'm gay, that's it.
yeah,
And you're like, so yeah, even though it has a gay character in it actually does feel a bit homophobic as well. There's
yeah, yeah.
quite a
Oh,
lot
for
of
sure.
slurs in it, and they're
Yeah,
kind of like, oh, we can get away with this because we've got a gay character. And it's like, well, you haven't even got a gay character. You've just said someone is gay. So that was weird. And I was like, for 2005, that felt a bit strange.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then the other point I thought was it was just confusing at a point. They kind of had they wanted to show this sort of high ground of how men should be respectful for women because there's a couple of scenes where Harmony is like, oh, you touch my breast. He's like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. And Robert Downey Jr. is like, no, no, this isn't okay. You shouldn't
yeah,
be okay with this. It's not. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. But really, the film really focuses a large part on sexualizing women from a male
yeah,
point of view. Like there's a
yeah,
point where, he's just staring at her breasts and they just zoom in the camera on them and you could just see, pretty much her whole breast. And then there's, naked women in this a lot. And so like you try to go, oh no, we're being respectful of women, but then basically do not do that at all.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it felt weird. I don't know if you felt that as
Yeah.
well in those sort of
Yeah, no,
points.
yeah. And that's I think that's yeah, how why it was really dated and
Yeah.
felt like that. And it's funny because I think kind of yeah, at the time I think I think I sort of was sucking into it and did actually think, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is different because actually like they're calling out the sort of
Yeah.
thing that they're doing and yet they were still doing it. And I think that yeah, almost at the time, I
Yeah.
think I think it's also for me it kind of I remember almost yeah like yeah sort of 2005 Andy or 2006 Andy, and like it's actually like quite nostalgic for like thinking oh actually yeah this was a bit kind of edgy or like yeah sort of going
Yeah.
against the run of things, uh but like actually it wasn't at all. And now with sort of yeah a little bit
Mm.
of hindsight and
Yeah.
older head on my shoulders, I'm kind of like oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's really interesting that at the time I would have thought that this was oh no,
Yeah.
this is different, like
Yeah.
this isn't doing that, this isn't doing the same thing that everything does. And now you look at it and you're like oh actually yeah it was, and I just just got
Yeah.
just completely bought into it and just didn't know any better. So yeah
Yeah,
it's funny.
yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? You're right. Yeah, just to see that, yeah, that's exactly it. We thought it was something different, and actually turns out no, it was it. No,
Yeah,
it's said
exactly, yeah.
with more understanding and less ignorance. We now go, actually, no, this is not good from that point of
Yeah,
view.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I know maybe like a mid-20s male film. I think that was probably
yeah,
the demographic it was going for, right? Is
yeah.
yeah, like yeah,
Yeah,
sort
there's
of
a lot of
yeah,
nudity in it, which obviously, yeah,
yeah,
really
exactly, yeah,
appeals to that age
yeah.
range. Yeah.
But then I think with with RDJ as well, sort of, yeah, being slightly more grizzled and stuff. Yeah, I think it's sort of a
Mm,
little bit older and stuff. And so, yeah, no, I
yeah.
think, and it's funny because, yeah, I always sort of tell a little bit of, of a story of when I first met my wife, sort of around this time, around
Yeah.
2005, um, like having this real sort of moment of like realizing that she was like a grown up and that she like had
Yeah.
basically she had her shit together and I did not.
Yeah.
And like
You're
thinking if I
like Eddie Mao, you're still 10 years behind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Just like thinking, like, yeah, if I want to get to know her better, like, I need to, yeah, like not even grow up, but just like
Yeah.
yeah, sort of
You've got to
mature
put
a
the
little bit.
BMX down,
I'm gonna
stop hanging out with your bandit friends. Yeah.
wait 20 years and then get the BMX back out. BMX Bandits, newsflash, BMX Bandits voted worst film my daughter's ever seen. She
Whoa,
dropped that bombshell
man.
at the weekend when
Oh
we
my
were talking
God. It's
about worst
Oppenheimer's
films ever
everywhere.
seen. She said, "Oh,
Wow.
it was so boring." I was like, "You didn't watch it all, so you can't say
Yeah,
that." She
fight
was
back.
like,
Good.
"It was just boring." So I was like, oh, "Okay, well, good.
Wow.
Glad that
Okay.
you are
Well, we'll
clearly."
start. Brilliant. So maybe we should start getting Poppy's list of your films as well. Wait until she watches once. She thinks that BMX Band is bad.
we
You
don't,
wait.
we won't let her watch that until she's much older.
Yeah,
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 so
as
it's
punishment.
funny, like yeah, just sort of thinking about it. It's almost I don't know, a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
2006 Andy. Oh, bless you. Bless your little con socks.
Yeah,
You thought you'd come so far when you really hadn't
yeah,
hadn't got out of
yeah.
your hadn't got out of your bedroom. So
There you go. Yeah. We should have got a clip from Tiff to say, what was 2005, Andy? Like, just see, and just you film the giant eye roll of like, oh my God, I remember
I think
that guy.
she would just say, yeah, this film was what 2005. And he was like,
Yeah, watch this and you'll understand. Yeah, fun. It's funny because we were
yeah,
talking about the Nice Guys as an alternative. I think you were saying you were actually
yeah,
between this or that, and I think that is a much. I mean, obviously that's 2016. So it's
yeah,
a good, 11 years further on, but I think that is a much better option of this type of film. But I'd be interested to
yeah.
see
But
if
I
that
don't.
still comes
Yeah,
across with
I
issues
don't
as
think it's
well.
this type of film though. I think that is just a
No.
buddy. It is just a buddy cop movie, right?
Yeah,
And
so
it
it hasn't
is
got the
just
noir feel.
yeah. It's not. I don't think it's trying to be
Yeah.
meta. I don't think it's trying to sort of have that like deep
Yeah.
noir. They film it
Yeah.
without like a shade of blue over the lenses.
Yeah.
I think they did for
Yeah.
this one. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just yeah. I think it's good and like yeah. As I said, I think before the jump yeah, but it was kind of
Yeah.
between Nice Guys and this, and I felt like this was kind of trying to do something a bit more interesting.
Yeah, at the time.
Because if
Yeah.
you put
Which
in
makes
Nice
sense,
Guys,
right?
why don't you put in Lethal Weapon? Like why don't you put in Rush Hour? You could put in any
Yeah.
classic 48 hours
Yeah.
could go in there. It's
Yeah.
it's open to so many.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Beverly Hills Cop 4, which is about to come out. So
yeah, exactly, yeah. The classic,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
classic. I'm sure it will be. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. We like him. He's a good guy.
Oh, is he in it?
Yeah. I think he's
Oh wow.
the young
He
the young flesh bringing in the punters, which I'm not sure that's going to work. So
Yeah, I mean he is super young, so that's a great idea. So
yeah,
so how did you describe this to the aliens then? I'll be interested to see, what your communication is for this.
yeah. I went with this is a film from the 21st century that's based on the 20th century that maybe should have still been in the 20th century and not brought into the 21st century.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a
It's
great description. Whether
it's
they're
all
gonna
about dating it, I think. So
yeah, yeah. They're like, this is good. This is helping us with history now. We now understand the
yeah.
differentials between the 20th and the 21st century.
How
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I put we watch RDJ's come down or withdrawal in movie form. I
No,
felt like this
he
film
was
is just
40. He was 40 when he filmed this.
wow, really? He looks good
Yeah,
for 40. That's about the
yeah,
only good thing I can say about this film. So,
yeah. Saw a clip of saw a clip of him promoting it on Conan O'Brien. It just had his 40th birthday.
wow. And then, yeah, that's very impressive. I mean, I guess obviously he did have some really good, like, younger films, and then obviously just, yeah, went off the rails. So his comeback was 40. Wow. So how old was he in Iron Man then? Iron Man 1. He'd be like,
I think
yeah,
it's not it's
45 or
only a few
something.
years. No, yeah, like 43 or something.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
only a
right.
few years
I'm still
after
thinking this
this.
is like 1998, where no, it's not. This film was 2005. Yeah. Yeah, forget about
That's what
that.
it does. Maybe that's what it does. It just convinces you
Yeah,
that you're going to do it. So
reverse ages you. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Yeah. That is impressive. I wonder how old Val Kilmer was as well. But yeah, what did you think about it? Any questions? I mean, for me, I obviously answered my one about yeah, was it is our teacher actually good? But yeah, was there anything else that you came up with?
yeah, I wonder. I mean, obviously, as part of the plot device, he's there to make Colin Farrell cheaper. How expensive is Colin
Yeah.
Farrell in 2005? It's just off the
Yeah.
back of Alexandra.
Ooh.
I don't think he's actually that
Yeah.
expensive. So
Yeah. Do you
yeah,
think it's like a
no,
little it was a little jibe at Colin for some reason, or do you
yeah,
think they get on with him, but they just thought, well, we
yeah.
can only put in someone that's fun that would take this as a joke and not yeah.
Yeah, I presume that they
Mm.
know him. Although I don't think he's been in any Shane Black movies, but yeah, I think
Mm.
yeah, obviously
Yeah.
we've chronicled his career. Um,
Yeah.
Whitey the White Knight is that the worst name for school mascot of all time? I'm not sure. I think that's got to be up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but like definitely from 2005 as well
Yeah,
in America.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
And then yeah, the main one, yeah, I wondered about sort of noir as a
Mm.
genre, whether it does sort of stand up. And I was trying to
Mm.
think, there are a couple more noir on here. Like one is
Yeah.
actually a classic noir from the 40s, so I think that will be fine. And then there is
Yeah.
another one, weirdly
Oh.
actually from exactly the same year. So
Mm.
clearly I was this was a big
Wow.
noir
Yeah.
year for me.
I'm just
Um,
picturing what you'd been wearing in 2005. Just like
I've always wanted to be able to pull off the Trilby hat, and
yeah.
I never can. My head is too big, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I can
Oh.
just never should. But yeah, I'd love I love the style of the 30s and the yeah, like the hats and
Yeah.
stuff. Always,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
always wanted to be able to
Yeah.
pull it off. But
Mm.
yeah, so it makes me wonder. Just is there going to be? Are you still going to be able to do noir now? Like, what? How do you update it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are
Would you
the other noir
say
films gonna stand up? Got
Yeah.
me worried.
Would you say that LA Confidential is a noir film? I was trying to
So
think.
yeah, yeah, but I didn't actually like that.
Yeah.
I
Too
thought that was too on the nose. I thought it was
yeah,
too
too
like
straight.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like we've got the
yeah,
30s films for that. We didn't need. Yeah.
yeah. Why remake it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Guy
yeah.
Pearce, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
poor
Classic. I'm
man's
always trying to
Val
get in
Kilmer.
the
Wasn't it? Was it Val Kilmer that someone said it was a poor man's?
Wow.
It was on Iron Man 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
I only
was.
just remembered that. We should really
It
remember these things from podcasts.
Look at that. We're so meta. It's coming
It's
full circle.
it is the long play video universe. Everything's just connected together somehow.
Yeah, you're right. And I was like, Cabell, that's not fair. But actually, he was very good in this. I'm now thinking,
Yeah.
is he better than Guy Pearce? Oh, yeah, we'll put that in the poll. Who's better, Guy Pearce or Val Kilmer?
Yeah, well,
Um,
funnily enough, and that's kind of what I went with for the like changing something about the film. I did actually wonder about
yeah.
almost doing it backwards, like a Memento type thing, where you
Okay.
started
Yeah.
with the end and
Yeah.
just did it backwards. I think it would work
Yeah.
just as well because I don't think it leads
No.
anywhere. I don't think it builds
No.
suspense at all. So doing it
No.
backwards, I
And
think
it's
would be.
really confusing. Yeah. I love the way you've sort of described that as what about if we do it backwards? Whereas we all know you mean do a Columbo. We know what we know what you're getting at, Andy.
Who
You
who
know,
even
you
did the
know.
murder? Like what would you see at the start if the murder
Yeah.
was revealed at the start? Who actually did the murder? We
Yeah.
still don't know. We don't know who
Yeah, well,
actually the bad guys were and who everyone
yeah.
was. We don't know.
It is, yeah, you're right, because spoilers for everyone. So she does actually commit suicide, right? That's
Yeah,
that's actually what happens.
yeah, the sister,
And
yeah.
obviously Val Kilmer calls it very early on. And you're right, but then you had um
The
so the
guy at the
dad,
party.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
the
yeah. So
dad's
he
nothing
had
to do with it. The dad's nothing
yeah,
to do with it.
but then he's randomly holds them at gunpoint at a point in the film, and you're like, well, hold on a minute. Why is he holding them at gunpoint when actually it has nothing to do with anything? So
Wait,
that
what?
was weird.
Who? What?
Isn't there a bit when they're in the car park? Isn't that where? And
That's
he's
not the.
there.
That's not. No, no, no. He's the guy from the party. So the guy
Oh,
from the party who.
yeah.
So the
See, this
guy
is
from
what I
the.
mean. It's confusing. And I've
No,
watched it
I'm
twice
with
in
you.
the last
Yeah.
like 48 hours.
I literally just finished watching it and we're in the shop still.
Uh,
Yeah. So the guy at the party had basically
so hold on, Corbin Bernstein. That was that Corbin
Corbin
Bernstein.
Bernstein. That's a great Noir
What?
name. That's a good name.
Yeah.
I like that name.
He's the dad, right? He walked me through his character. He's the one
Oh
that
wait,
she thinks he's her dad,
the guy
and
from the
he,
party.
yeah. That's the
Right.
dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
his
right.
wife dies
Yeah.
and he's estranged from his daughter, and then there's like
Yeah.
he can't inherit the money from
Right.
the
Yeah.
daughter. So then he brings an actress in to pretend to be the daughter and sends the
Yes.
actual daughter to the mental institute, which they guess
Yeah.
just because she wasn't wearing any knickers, which seems like that's putting a hell of a lot on that, I would say. If I find someone without
No.
underwear, mental institute is not the first place that my brain goes to. So then they go. So then the little sister hires
Yeah.
Perry
Yeah.
to
Val.
go and
Yeah.
spy on,
Corbin.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
daughter and the fake
Yeah.
daughter
Yeah.
to get incest. I don't like, yeah, to get
Yeah.
incest. I guess because she's
Because
then
she
gonna
sees
reveal it.
them
Yeah,
together and
yeah,
thinks that it's incest, like
yeah, yeah.
he's doing.
So
Yeah, so it's
then,
super confusing because she's
but
yeah.
they've. I'm on a roll. Don't interrupt me.
Do
I've got
it,
to get
go.
this all out.
Finish this off. Yeah.
But then he's murdered her at the house, or he's got his goons to murder her at the house,
Yeah.
and then put her in the. Actually, no, she's not murdered, is she? Because
Yeah. She gets
she's thumping against the car, which is why he says,
she
"Why
gets
is the car?"
shot in the
No,
bedroom, right? When RTJ's under the bed.
yeah. But no,
Yeah.
that's later. So they are gonna kidnap her. So put her. Oh no! So
I
the
mean,
actual daughter. This
the
is so no,
blurb on
the
the back of
actual
this
daughter.
DVD is gonna be next level for this one.
Yeah, no, so the
Yeah.
actual daughter gets put in the back of the car and then they
Yes.
drive the car off into the lake where they're going to kill
Yeah.
her and then they
Yeah.
rescue her, but they don't actually. They shoot her in
Yeah.
the head instead.
Yeah.
And then yeah, then the other girl, the pretend daughter, is then shot dead when
Killed
he's
later on.
under the yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Man,
really don't understand why you don't understand it.
it's so confusing. Honestly,
It's
you
literally
just
no
explaining
spoilers.
it.
There's literally no spoilers. Everyone's like, I
Yeah.
still don't understand what happens in this movie. That's
Yeah.
it's fine. You can go and watch this
Yeah.
movie. There's
Yeah.
not even a spoiler. People are like, did that make any sense? No. You go and watch the
No.
movie. It'll be
Do we
fine.
know anything that's going on? Yeah. Or don't watch the movie because it's dated badly. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's good. Having watched it twice, you just resolved a couple of pieces for me just in that that piece there. Wow, it that
Yeah.
really showed you how unbelievably confusing this film is. And then,
Yeah.
did it actually do quite well? Did it actually make quite a bit of money, or was it
No, I
just
didn't know.
no?
Yeah,
That does
didn't
explain
make
why
anything.
that is. They
Yeah. Yeah,
all
it
right.
just
So yeah,
made its money back. What were some of
favorite
your favorite
lines.
lines? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
what did you have?
So like I said, I didn't put too many down. I actually ended up I only ended up putting one down because I was just enjoying his lines so much. Even the second time round, I was like, these lines are he's just so good. Like when when he gets him out the car and Robert Downey Jr.'s lying against the car and he's like, yeah, I've got to go. And they've just found out that Harmony's
Yeah, yeah.
dead. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I've got to go now. And he's like, yeah, I've got to go. And he's like, he doesn't understand. So he pushes his head forward off the car and then
It's
and
like I've really got to go, and you can see he's like,
yeah.
yeah, and he's like,
That was good. And then well, one of my favorite lines was that he just said, Robert Downey Jr. says, I thought we were friends. And Val Kilmer goes, no, we are not friends. And it's just the way he delivers it is like, no, seriously, you need to be clear on this. We are not
we are
friends.
not friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was very good. There's some great lines in this. Yeah, what did you have?
I liked it just before that bit when he said sleep badly. Any questions, hesitate to call. That's a good line.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
is it,
Yeah.
the when he gets his keys for his car back and the hostess says bye, have a better night. I think
Yeah.
that's quite funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Obviously very meta on the voiceover, saying, you know,
Yeah.
I saw the last Lord of the Rings and we're not going to have like 17 endings. That's you know, no spoilers
Yeah,
for future films.
yeah.
Um, I think that the funniest bit I think for me is still when he's peed on the corpse and he's like,
Yeah.
I peed on the corpse, and he's like, so you what? And he says, I'm sorry, you peed on, and he says, yeah, on the corpse. My question is like, no, my question.
No.
I get to go
Yeah.
first. Why
Yeah.
did you pee on the corpse?
Yeah.
And I think,
Oh,
yeah, that was quite funny.
he's so good. And they delivers that so well, doesn't it? As if like
Yeah,
it's just natural, like a natural, like, hold on a minute, wait, not as in it was
yeah,
natural, not that it was a
yeah,
line.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, no,
He's
no, my
so good in
question.
this.
I get to go
Yeah.
first. Yeah, and he does
Yeah.
well. Does
I
well.
wonder
He's
if
redeemed
because this is
himself. I mean, that alone for
uh
you is worthwhile, right?
yeah. I mean, that's what I was just thinking. Is like, is this film worth watching for Val Kilmer's performance? Even though the rest of it's super dated and it's horrifically confusing. I don't know.
Are we
Maybe
going to
just
go back
the
and
yeah.
change Iron Man 3
Oh,
to what would have been
oh.
better, have Val Kilmer in the
Yeah,
main?
get it in. I wonder if with AI that we can recreate this film and we'll just keep all of Val Kilmer's cool lines and then just change the plot into something different that's going to be better.
We could give it a
Yeah,
go. I'm sure Val
yeah,
would appreciate that. He's a good
yeah.
movies guy. His
Uh,
honestly, his like autobiographical documentary is well worth a look.
yeah,
It is really good.
yeah. I do want to watch it. It's
He
on my
does really
list.
well. Yeah.
I've got to get round to it. I think it's you've got to be in the right frame of mind as well because it's obviously going to be quite sad. But yeah,
Well, I mean, no
I do want to
sadder
watch
than
it.
hunting two lions who have started eating
Mate,
construction workers, I guess.
you haven't seen it, mate. It's it's brilliant.
It's a bit of a
It's
one. Well, yeah,
mm,
the three star reviews basically just nail it. To be honest with you,
yeah, good
someone
time.
says it tries hard to be a comedy. In some places, it is spot on, but in others, it seems to miss the mark. The story is
Yeah.
largely overshadowed by the attempted comedy. Overall, I thought it was okay on a first watch, sufficiently
Mm.
different and entertaining, but I don't think there will be a second. I can
No.
work out from that whether a second film or a second watch. And then I was thinking, what would be the sequel's title if they made a second one? I had Kiss
Yeah.
Kiss Bang Banger, but I don't know whether that will
Yeah.
catch on.
I don't know. Yeah. How
Yeah,
would they make a sequel? So like a different book, effectively.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Let's put this one
Oh,
in the bin and not make a sequel.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Maybe do a prequel.
Yeah.
Okay story, good acting, appalling language. I suddenly realized that we haven't had one of our films criticized for language in the three-star reviews for a little while. So that actually took me
Yeah.
back to, I
It's
think there was
yeah.
a run in the 90s where just everyone was complaining about the language that we
Yeah.
never realized.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm glad they're back. All we need now is just a complaint about Amazon and we're sorted. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, writer and director Shane Black has a great way with words and has fun with the characters and how they end up in certain places, certain times. Some real laugh out loud jokes as well. 3 stars.
Hmm. Yeah.
Was an okay film, not one of Downer's best. Is Downers?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
accepting that as a nickname for Robert Downey Jr.? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
sure about
not
that.
sure I'm all right with that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Downer. Old
Um,
Downey.
and
Yeah.
then someone gave it 3 stars and saying maybe it's just because I don't like Robert Downey Jr., who, along
Wow.
with all of his well documented problems, basically ruined Ally McBeal single handedly. So on a par with alcoholism,
Wow.
single-handedly ruining Ally McBeal, which was obviously this
Wow.
person's like go to show. So
It was
yeah,
big. I didn't realize he was such a big character in it. But there you go.
he
Brought it
was in
down from
quite a few of
within.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, well documented. Oh, along with all of his well documented problems, a slightly less
Wow.
documented problem, bringing down Ally McBeal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, lesser one that we know. That's funny.
Yeah,
It just shows you, doesn't it? When when you're younger, how everything just seems to be longer than I thought. So I would have thought Ally McBeal went on for years, and yet it went on for 2 seasons by the looks of things. Yeah,
some of the
yeah,
the episodes did go a little long.
yeah. So there you go. There you are. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
What
right.
did you have
So
for the algo?
So yeah, I put in the nice guys, or sort of in Bruges. I was thought of as well, but then I think Burn After Reading was probably my sort of closest sort of tongue-in-cheek sort of. I don't know. I really struggled with this one because I didn't really understand the film and I didn't know what was going on. So I think I've lost
With
the point for this. Yeah,
if we start putting in all the films that you don't understand or you can't remember,
yeah.
then
In the podcast that the Algos are doing, they're like, "Can you believe he said these?" I mean, there's definitely no point for him on this. He's got no idea what he's doing. Yeah,
the ghost in the machine is having fun with our predictions. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean the algo went for Nice Guys, Big Sleep,
Hmm.
Hot Fuzz, Glass Onion.
Oh, great film.
Hot Fuzz isn't. Yeah, I'm not sure
No,
would be the same. Glass
no.
Onion. Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like noir
yeah,
detective. I feel like we
yeah,
kind of have to just begrudgingly kind of
yeah,
give that to the
yeah.
algo. I think
Well, after my terrible suggestions, I think so. Yeah,
yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's fair.
Just a little bit.
Uh,
I think, yeah, I mean, obviously it's not as meta, and I think they were going for meta, but they didn't deliver. But
yeah,
because they didn't
no.
deliver, you're a bit like, well, yeah, it's just one of those things. So.
Well, on this note, then, yeah. So we've talked about how dated it is. You weren't as impressed as you thought. So it's number 61 currently. Is it going off the list? That's on everyone's lips.
You're gonna be doing the sound effects, same as Carla and
Yeah,
her
I'm getting
doorbell.
called in to Oppenheimer. Yeah.
It's gonna
Uh,
stay on the list. It's gonna stay on the list.
oh.
Uh, it's gonna fall all the way down to 91.
Mm,
I was going through the list and
okay.
I thought, you know what, I'd just rather watch Night and Day than this movie.
Oh, for
So
sure.
yeah, so I put it
Yeah.
underneath Night and Day. Obviously not at number 90 because we
Wow.
talked about the tens being big films,
Yeah,
and obviously
big
so it's
ones.
not going to
Yeah.
go there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it shuffles
What's below it?
everything back up. What
Oh,
was it? What
wow,
was it?
really?
92 is
Wow.
Airplane. I feel
So,
that's fair. I'd still probably rather watch it than Airplane.
yeah.
Um, and
Yeah,
also,
okay.
as you just yeah, for like yeah,
Val Kilmer is very good in it.
pour a drink out for 2006, Andy. I think it just bless his little con
Yeah,
socks.
yeah.
He had to
It,
stump up, and he did all right.
yeah.
He's
He's got
you
through
know
to now, but yeah,
he's
we don't know
40
how he
episodes
survived.
into
Yeah,
a podcast that he's been doing. I think
yeah,
fair play to him. No, he would
yeah,
have thought.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously the aliens, they knew. They but
So
yeah.
how about you? Did it fall into the dreaded bad category, or did it just about stay
Do you know
out?
what?
Or
I mean, I put it in after only the first watch. Maybe I will need to come back and give another assessment after the second watch. But I put it in the OK section.
okay, yeah,
Funnily enough, I mean, this is in our long play video universe. I put it above BMX Bandits. So,
nice.
um, and oh, sorry, it's below BMX Bandits, and then yeah, no, above. I'll get it right. Above BMX Bandits and below Beasts of the Southern Wilds.
Okay,
So yeah, but I don't
very
know. I
very
mean,
mid range, very
yeah, it was so confusing. I didn't really like Robert Downey Jr. in this. The only thing that keeps it in the OK section is Val Kilmer.
yeah.
Like he's the only thing because he is brilliant in this, I think.
Poor
Um,
man's Skypius.
Yes, sorry, excuse me. Poor man's Guy Pearce is the only thing that keeps this in. You're right. I've got to keep my Australian audience going, you know? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I think that's
that's
where I'll
fair.
go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes films aren't the same way as you remember them.
Yeah.
I've watched this like, I don't know, like 10, 20 times.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I
Are
hadn't
you going
watched it
to
for a while.
dispose of the DVD now? Is there going to be like
Y-
some kind of ritual to say goodbye to 2005 Andy?
Well, generally anything in the top 100, I keep the DVD,
Mm.
just to keep it in there.
Oh. So what
So
happened
that
with Four Lions? Did you unceremoniously open your front door and just throw the DVD
just
out onto the
just
road?
I just placed it on the side of the road. That would seem quite aggressive, I think, with four lines.
Yeah.
You'd probably get stopped by
Yeah.
the police or something. No,
Yeah.
I have to do a clear out of DVDs every now and again and take them down to the charity shop. So
Yeah.
I take some
Yeah.
down and then I
Yeah.
look around and
Wow.
buy some more and
Yeah.
then watch them and then take them back down. So
You're just buying
yeah.
the ones that you've put back in there. Oh, well, someone's
Yeah.
left Four Lions.
That'd be you. Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah. This sounds good. Hold on a minute. Did I bring
You
this
know,
back?
all of the money's for charity, so it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So it can sit in the back row and not have
Yeah.
too many problems. Although I think it's also like, for my daughter when she's listening to all of these when she's 30,
Yeah.
she can watch one and be like, this, you know what, this dates
Yeah,
me.
wow.
This is what my dad
Yeah.
was like in 2006. This
Oh, she'll be so
year will be
cringe.
like
Yeah.
2050 or 2060 or something. She was like, back in
Yeah.
2005, this is
Yeah.
what passed as,
Yeah.
slightly
Yeah.
meta and like
Yeah.
playing with the
Yeah.
genres.
She'll be
And it's really not.
disappointed. She might stop listening to the rest of them after this one. We might have to get her to listen to this last. She'll be like,
Wow.
oh no, my dad was like this.
Well, if we'll get her on a couple coming up, so it'll be fine. She'll listen back in.
Yeah,
So
she'll listen to those. Yeah. Yeah, nice.
awesome, great. Well, yeah. On to I thought about a quote for next week, but I don't think I will. But I think
Okay.
fair to say a
Mm.
rather dramatic change of pace for next week.
Mm.
So
Yeah, indeed.
it'll be a good one. Uh, yeah, and we'll pick it up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's different. I mean, it's not
I
even
think
quotes;
that
it's just whole speeches. But yeah,
yeah, I think that's the quote, isn't it? Yeah, like if this would have been a better start to the main quote. This will be a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this will be a good one. I mean, I say that every week.
Yeah. That
What are
is
we
true.
doing? We're just
Yeah.
changing the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks as ever to Tom Evans for the theme song. You can find us on Instagram, a long play video, or check out the website, which got a bit of a bashing over the weekend.
Yeah. I think we
Long play
should
dot video.
just have a little small call out, and we're just going to see if these two terrors that starting a little war with us. So yeah, so maybe
Wookie in
we just talk
hand,
about this
as we call
quickly.
them.
So
No,
yeah. So
let's
you're
leave it there, and
yeah.
we'll unless we're going to give them a right to reply, which
Well,
we're
I'm
not
happy to
going
give them
to
a
for
right to
like
reply.
15 for 15 episodes.
Well,
So
I'm putting it out there. I'll put that website together, and your
it's another
nephews have slated it, and it's
it's an
terrible.
it's another Twitter spat. They're not even on
I'm happy
Twitter.
with that.
They're on
Yeah, it will probably be TikTok or something. I don't know. Yeah.
they're on TikTok, and we're not allowed to follow them. So it's they're never going to
Well,
find this out.
I think at a certain age, you're just not allowed to download TikTok. So my phone just won't let me. So it's fine. But I'm
You
calling them
have to
out.
ask
I'm
someone to
like,
download the app.
yeah, yeah. I'm calling them out. I'm like, okay, you guys, if you want to take on the website, if you think you can do a better deal, come on, let's see you.
I don't think they're going to
I'm
fall.
putting it out there.
I don't think they're going to fall for that. If
Yeah,
you think
come
you
on,
can
please,
if you
please
think that
do
you
it.
can edit all these episodes, I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, does anyone out there want to do some podcast editing? Yeah. Yeah, you see, yeah, you think it's bad? Yeah. The
If
problem
you've
is
got
we're actually quite
comments.
good at editing. That's the issue, that the website is pretty average. So
Just wait until people are like, "Oh, come on and just do the podcast for you if you'd like." We're like, "Hey, wait a minute,
yeah.
we thought we were good at that."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, you guys are rubbish. We can sort this out. Or maybe we'd come and get them to do a podcast in replace of us one week. That could be
Just not
interesting.
us. I don't think anyone's
Yeah.
gonna notice. It's gonna
Yeah, we'll get
just be
Freddie and Woody in. Yeah, that could be
yeah.
fun. Would maybe a film that they haven't seen, and they were like, "We're changing it up for this week.
We'll
We're
go on
bringing in
holiday
two
somewhere
youngsters."
nice.
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
change the demographic of the podcast too much. Right.
yeah.
With that, we're going. We'll see you next
Boom.
week. And
Yeah,
yeah, we're out.
bombshells everywhere today. Loved it.